So when you're sharing your story, when you're volunteering, you need to have the mindset when you share your story that your 30 seconds has the potential to change thousands of people's lives. Yeah. So roles for the day, we want to have 2 greeters at the front gate. Awesome. I'm sorry, what's your name? Neoma. Perfect. Facing Neoma. Awesome. Front gate. And then if we could have 1 over the door, Jared, you could be at the door. And then 2 runners, Lauren and Kayla. Yeah. Awesome. So for runners, you're going to run yes from the door to the Herbalife opportunity tour, and you're going to bring them to the people who invited them here. And then just on that, please go to your roles right away. It's not a time for you to get a snack or go to the school or whatever. Like, you're volunteering, you're stepping up, you're contributing. Please be present to that. And my other thing about that is that, you know, we hear all the time, we hear the story about Heather Schwartz hugs everyone when she comes in. And so if you're volunteering for one of these roles, you need to think about the fact that when that person's going to be on an STS stage someday, they're going to say, Lauren Richmond hugged me my first time out at Invictus Nutrition, and I'll never forget that. So be present to those roles. Awesome. Let's see. Okay, volunteer for next week for setup crew. Do we have people who want to do setup crew? Yeah. Awesome. Cool, Catalina. Awesome. Thank you. If you want to come at 7:30, that would be awesome. Anybody who wants to come help set up, set the intention for the day, set the day up, help chairs, you know, just be in this space, be present. Cool. So thank you for volunteering for that. Awesome. Okay, so for after, we need cleanup crew. So we need a woman and a man for bathrooms. Charlene for women's. Jacob for men's bathroom. Cool. And then for chairs, put away chairs. Osa, awesome. Lauren, Chris. Anybody who wants to put their own chair away, then we all can do it, and nobody else has to do it. Awesome. Cool. So for floors, anybody want to sweep? Style had his hand up first, so I'll let Style do that. And then, let's see, kitchen. Paris. Awesome. Tanya, Paris, Alan. Anybody? Awesome. And so for cleaning up, this space takes a lot of money to run. This is a beautiful, beautiful space that we have. So if you're not on TAP team, I would really encourage you to contribute any other way that you can, because this is an amazing opportunity to grow our business. And so if you can sweep the floor, sweep the floor. Like if you can clean the windows, clean the windows. It's our club, all of our clubs, and so just be able to volunteer. A lot of the people who volunteer are the people who constantly volunteer, and a lot of the people who volunteer are TAP team, and they're already contributing financially. So please step up and please help out around our space. This is our space. Yeah. Woo! I'm excited. Awesome. Okay, so the first Wednesday of the month is Active Supervisor Retreat. Yeah. We all have time to hit our 2,500 this month, so everybody should be there for June. It's the first Wednesday. We had our first one last month, and we had Millionaire Team Aubrey Clark here. It was amazing. It was motivating. It was life-changing. I have tons of notes, so please hit your 2,500. It's really important. That's a great time to bond with the people who are moving up in the marketing plan. So that's the first Wednesday of June, and then this month is 5 Gets 5. So that means that Herbalife is going to applaud you and reward you if you do your 5,000 for the month. They're going to match your 5,000 that goes towards your Active World team. So that's awesome. Get that. Next we have the Sky Zone Team Promotion. And can anybody tell me what is the Sky Zone Promotion? Does anybody know? Paris.
The Sky Zone Promotion, you have to do, in order to go to the promotion, you have to do 3,000 volume points, 3 H&P. If you want VIP, you have to do 5,000 volume points, 5 H&P. Perfect. Yeah.
So, like she said, 3,000 volume points, three HMPs is going to get you free entry, and then 5,000 volume points, 5 HMPs is going to get you a VIP photo, free entry, and a gift. So, I love gifts. So, go for that. Okay, cool. The next thing that we have is extravaganza! Who's got your ticket? Yeah, awesome. Extravaganza is coming up July 18th through the 21st. It is going to change your business. I have never been. I'm so excited. And I'm really excited that they set it up that it's in July, so it's halfway through the year. So it's going to drastically change the rest of your year. You have the whole second half of the year. So that's really dope. I would love to get 2 shares about extravaganza, maybe one share from somebody who's been and 1 share from somebody who hasn't. So if I could get a share of somebody who's been to extravaganza. Ali, yes.
Yeah. All right, so my name is Ali for Extravaganza. Well, I've been for 2 years now. And every year you go, just elevate your mindset of what's possible for you. So one recommendation I would say is to get somebody there with you, because when you go, you don't want to be in the room like, dang, I wish somebody would have came with me. Because the vision is going to be painted so big that just, of course, you have to leave from the front and get your tickets, right? Everybody's got their ticket? Yeah! All right, so now it's time for you to get somebody there with you. It's going to be a big deal.
Cool. Thank you. How about Charlie? Okay, I would love to have 1 share of somebody who's going who hasn't been yet. So, awesome. Shoma.
When everybody came back from Extravaganza, it was like the team and I had exploded. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody had so many action steps and so many mind shifts that happened. And I just knew that I had to be at the next one. So definitely keep talking that our promotion really does work.
Awesome. Thank you. How about Shoma? Okay, so if you could put your things under the chair, get focused, turn your phones off. How you guys feel? Great! Are you excited?
Yeah!
We have a good supervisor school for you today. An amazing, amazing guest speaker. I joined the business in January of this year, and my ignorance on fire, I decided to send this person a message. Because why not? And so I messaged her and I said, hi, my name is Laura Dowding, and I've lost 42 pounds this year with Herbalife, and I just decided to join the business, and I can't wait to hear you and your husband speak at January Spectacular. And I don't know what I was thinking. But she messaged me back. And she said, wow, 42 pounds. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations, you're such an inspiration. And she said, I can't wait to do this business together. That's the kind of person this woman is. I was a distributor. I wasn't even senior consultant yet. I was a distributor. And she messaged me that, and it changed how I came into this business, to be honest, and that anything is possible. If someone at her status could reach out to me and say, wow, I'm so proud of you, I can't wait to do this together, it really changed my life. And so she is an amazing person. She's dedicated, she's motivated, she is driven, she is extremely passionate about changing everybody's life that she meets and that she comes in contact with, and sharing the Herbalife opportunity with anybody that she can. She has a very clear vision for the here and now of Herbalife, as well as the future of Herbalife and the future of the Get Uncomfortable Squad, and she's here for us today. So please be present. She's an amazing mother and teacher and friend and mentor, and she is definitely my inspiration. And she is the kind of woman that I aim to be in Herbalife and in the world. So please welcome 30K Chief Executive President Steve Jill.
How long did it take?
Like 4 hours.
Yeah.
It didn't take that long.
She was like Janet Jackson.
Ah, slap. No.
Round of applause for It really is incredible. I'll get into this more, but first and foremost, Laura, that was absolutely amazing. That was one of the most incredible introductions I've ever experienced for anyone like myself. So I think you're doing such a beautiful job as an MC, and that was just so well done. You should be so proud.
Yes.
And I so appreciate I do remember the first time she reached out, and it's just like we keep running into each other. It's just been really cool. Like even April LDW, and the last day we were running in to get there in time for the presentations to begin and get our seats and all of that. And we just happened to be, thousands of people, right? We just happened to walk in together. So we've had all these moments like this. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, you guys, I'm really fired up to be here. I've had 2 glasses of tea, so I'm ready to go. I've got 5 or 6 main points here that we're going to cover together, and I'm very fired up. I've got a lot of messages. I've had a lot of conversations with, certainly with the leadership here. Style and I had about a 45-minute chat the other night, and he just really shared with me how great things are going here, the incredible leadership, and some of the key messages that are most important right now, as well as just a series of meetings with the leadership of our organization, with the leadership of Herbalife. There's just so many amazing things happening. So my goal in the time we have together here is to give you as much as I can, both in terms of vision for where this space is going, where you guys are going as a unit, where the company is going, but also I want to get clear on what it takes, right? Because you can have vision, you can be really clear what you want, you can be, come into everything, you could be really giving a lot, but unless you're really crystal clear, you might be like a fire hose, just kind of all over the place, right? We want to make sure it's focused, right? That it's channeled. And sometimes when you see people where they are today, you didn't necessarily get to see the journey for how they got where they are today. So my goal too is to give you a sense for the path that Mark and I were able to take together in this, and give you a sense for some of the key moments we went through, or some of the key challenges, the key successes, the decisions we made, the points along that path that were really pivotal. Because I believe, there's forks in the road. There's points in time where you can choose one way or the other. And a lot of you have already passed many of them in such a powerful way. You're here. So someone brought Herbalife to you and you said, yes, that was one of the decisions. That was one of the forks in the road, and you gave it a yes and you went for it. And there's going to be a lot of those. So I can share some more that might be coming down, your path in the future, so that when the day comes, you'll look back on this and you'll remember, and you'll say, oh, this is one of those forks in the road. This is one of those pivotal moments. This is where I can choose one way or the other, and it's going to make a huge impact on where things go. So there's a lot to get into, a lot to cover. And I definitely want to do some recognition in a moment, because there's a lot of momentum right here inside of GUS. It's going to be amazing what's coming. You guys have no idea. But before I get into the recognition piece, I do want to spend a moment on this because, you know, I've had one of the great things about being around for 9 years is I've had the opportunity and the privilege of being with Style for several years now and being with Nicole and Celeste and so many of the leaders here for years now. I remember when they were brand new, like baby distributors, just seeing this for the first time and then growing into the people they are today. I mean, and the thing that you want to write down is every single person in this room has greatness in them. They had greatness in them from the moment they walked in the door. And they made some key choices. They really were powerful in their actions so that they could be the people they are today. So walking in today and a few months ago when I saw this space for the first time, I had the same reaction today as I had then, which was just, you know, tears welled up in my eyes because what you have here is unbelievable. You have a physical space and a structure inside of this space, a family inside this space that's committed to groom you. It's committed to help you grow up the marketing plan, to help you grow as a person more importantly. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better situation than you have right here. I've seen a lot of spaces, I've seen a lot of situations, and you couldn't ask for a better setup. I mean, if Mark and I can build 4 Diamond 30K out of a 1,000 square foot rundown office, Motor Avenue, for those of you who have been there, I mean, which now looks stunning. What Jake and Heather have done with it is nothing short of incredible in their team. But in the beginning, when Mark and I were on a shoestring budget, it looked like it was on a shoestring budget. But we had heart, we had conviction, we had a willingness to work. So for those of you guys who walk into a space like this, which is how many square feet? Unreal. So 10 times the potential is how I see it. 10 times the opportunity to groom leadership. 10 times the number of lives you can impact. This is here for the taking. It's right here. And this is so incredible. I mean, I just see the jerseys across the wall, the stories up on the wall, the active supervisor wall extravaganza, the beautiful fitness space that you have. Oh, it's perfect. It's incredible. Like if you were to ask me, hey, Jill, Mark, if you guys were going to go out today and go build something, what would you want? This would be what I'd pick. And you have it right now. So it's so special what you have here, and I cannot say enough for your leadership. I know you know this, but I want you to hear from me. The leaders you have here are unbelievable. They are so clear about where they're going, so committed. And we went through something last year. You know, Style has been a part of our core mastermind leadership team for over a year now, year and a half, I think. Has been such a key leader. And that mastermind team, for those of you guys who are like, what is she talking about? Our whole organization, we have 26,000 members in the organization. It's a big one, right? And out of that, we have about 7 or 8 people that are the core leaders that are like the steering wheel for the entire organization. They're the leadership body that leads everything. And Style is one of the members of that crew. And inside that room, he brings it. Like, you know, he has 1,000 things on his plate like all of you do, 1,000 places he could be, but he's there every Monday. From 2 to 4, sometimes really long hours, right? Sometimes you start even earlier than that and go way later than that. Every single week. You know, really not only making sure that the way in which we're moving forward supports you guys, but supports the entire organization and all over life. That's the stage he's on. That's the influence he's having, the impact he's having. You should be so proud of Style, of Celeste as your president's team members, your millionaire team members. It's just amazing to see what everybody's up to. So if you could give your leadership a huge round of applause. So I remember when we opened our space, and Mark and I were on this shoestring budget, and I was showing this a little bit earlier, some of the leaders when we were in the pre-meeting. And you'd walk in and it was just, there was a lot of work to do. Okay, we had this rundown carpet. It was like not smelling so great when we first opened it. It was just, there was a lot of work to do. And so Mark and I were kind of like, oh boy, how are we going to do this? You know, it's an empty room. We actually didn't have anybody coming yet. So you guys obviously are way, way beyond where we were. And Andrew came in, my mentor, my sponsor. And he just came in and he just looked around and he was really quiet for a while. And I remember we were kind of looking at him, Mark and I were looking at each other, looking at him like, what is he thinking? And he said, without a doubt, you guys, your time is coming. He said, without a doubt, You've now taken the step that's going to create the space for you and for your team to grow. And as long as you're willing to do the work, your time will come. So at the outset, we're going to talk a lot about vision today, but I want you to start, before we even get into the vision section, start thinking about what you want. Start thinking about what you want your life to look like even a couple years from now, because you're in the right place, right time, right team, right company, right everything to take full advantage of that. And so as we get into the vision part here, and I'll share a little bit more about Mark and I's journey in a moment as well, I want to do some recognition before I forget, because there's so much momentum already taking place. This is only going to continue to spiral, and I want to make sure each and every one of you, as you see people stand for this recognition, whether it's you or someone else, I want you to picture the people standing being your team. I want you to picture this tap team row being your tap team. That's all that Mark and I used to play that game, like, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if. And before you know it, that's how things can take shape. But you got to be intentional. It's not like, hey, I want it. Well, what does that mean, right? So as we go through the recognition, just want you to think of, what if that could be my team? What if that could be my group? All right? Because there's no reason that any single person in here couldn't have a room this big of supervisors. You guys clear?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing if you start playing that out. It's really exciting. All right, so first and foremost, I want to give yourselves a moment to really recognize that you're here, because you, again, this is a Saturday morning. There's a lot of people hitting snooze right now, so give yourselves a round of applause for being here. And then, just by show of hands, how many of you are brand new supervisors in, let's say, the last 60 days, last 2 months? Any brand new supervisors? Anyone's first supervisor school? Oh my goodness. So for you guys, the big message I'd have is keep coming every week. Like, if you could write that in your notes when you sit down, that's one of the most important things I can give you. If you could take nothing out of this morning other than that, keep coming back every week. Good. Congratulations. So we have this. What comes after supervisor?
Active supervisor.
All right. So for those of you guys that are new supervisors, can someone volunteer to share what is active supervisor? What does that mean? Can I get a volunteer to explain what active supervisor is? Show your hands. Yes. What is active supervisor?
Active supervisor is when you do 2,500 or more every month for 3 months in a row.
Right. Perfect. What was your name again?
Paris.
Paris. She nailed it. So active supervisor is 2,500 volume points, 3 consecutive months. You get your active supervisor status. And here's the key. You never want to lose it. Just keep it. So active supervisor is a big deal because it really represents typically someone at that point has about 15 to 20 people in their community that they're growing, that they're working with and helping them get health results. Tough to do 2,500 on your own, right? You'd have to be really into those shakes, which is great if you are. But it really represents people. You're making an impact. So if I could have anyone that's in cuts of active supervisor right now, if you could stand so we could acknowledge cuts of active supervisor. Okay, and then if we could have all active supervisors join them in standing. All right, fantastic. So for instance, if I decided to be an active supervisor and go 1 more month, if I have 4 months of 2,500 or more, what's that? World team. Okay, awesome. What's another way to hit world team? 10,000 volume points, personal volume. Fantastic. What's another way to do world team? 500 royalties. So now maybe I have some supervisors, and as a group of supervisors, they're doing 10,000 volume points. That would mean you are getting a 500 royalty check. So that's another way to hit world team. So if we could have all of the world team members stand. Congratulations. All right, now if I do all 3 between 4 to 6 months, active world team. Okay, active world team members, please stand. That a lot of the active world team members tend to be tab team members. That's a good thing to write in your notes. Okay, so active world team is an incredible position. It's fantastic. So as you do the work to get to active world team, in my view, that is the work. If you just keep doing that over and over and over and over again, you're going to move up just great. So we can acknowledge some people that are moving into this next area, which is a huge area. We call this group the TAB team. And they get special trainings, these special shiny red pins. It's a really special leadership position because they're truly making an impact on a lot of people, and they have now a team that's starting to build. And we have some people that are in cuts of Get Team, at least one person. If you could have any cuts of Get Team, please stand so I make sure I don't miss anyone. All right, which cut are you in? Second. All right, let's rally. You guys ready? And then we're going to have all of the global expansion team that you will soon be joining stand. All right, so global expansion team, what are you ready for? What's next? Right. You guys got your goals? We're going to talk about that next. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
Yes. So, okay, we can definitely do 2500. That's perfect. So, I always forget we got these new pins we're adding in. So, and new trainings, because at the global expansion team level, one of the things is the distance between global expansion team to millionaire team isn't that much, but it can feel like a lot. So we're really working to make sure there's little steps in between, and actually at Extravaganza we're doing a special training for what's called the Future Millionaire Team Retreat. These people they're right in the middle there, they have 2,500 royalties, and it's the first time that we're doing a training with only the trainers being Founders Circle and Chairman's Club. It's going to be unreal. So if we could have any of the qualifiers Future Millionaire Team Retreat level, please stand up. Okay, fantastic. And if we could also acknowledge that next position, which is really the stepping stone that Tan's hit, and she's on her way to get to the millionaire team level. So if we could have the millionaire team, please stand up. I tell you what, that position meant the world to Mark and I, because finally our heads were above water. We were just like, we can breathe. It was a really, really special moment. So congratulations, millionaire team. And then you guys are going to be on your way to qualify for the Future Presidents Team Retreat, which is going to be outstanding. It's going to be the following January, which is another training. So we're going to give all those key steps in the middle there. There's new pins coming out for 7,500, all these great things. But last but not least, I'd like to acknowledge our President's team member in the room. If we could give it up for Mr. Stalbell. Okay, you guys, so tons of momentum here. This is probably where Mark and I were about like a year and a half ago, so it's really amazing to see this already, this much momentum. But what's great is, again, you guys have 10 times the space. You have 10 times the room to really grow this thing. Tons of vision possible here. And as we get into vision, I want to give you a sense of the company's vision. So where Herbalife is headed, as you guys are growing and you're continuing to build this out and you're building momentum inside your groups. So Mark and I have had a couple of events recently where we've gotten to be with the leadership of the company. One was in Dallas. Mark and I and Heather Schwartz as well have the opportunity to be a part of the North America strategy and planning team. So we get to be a part of a lot of discussions on how North America is moving forward and just big decisions around new product launches and strategies and so forth. It's phenomenal to be a part of that. And one of the things that they got us very excited about, and Mark and I got to learn more about it this past Tuesday. We were just down south here in Torrance at an all-employee town hall meeting that Herbalife does twice a year. So there was 900 employees there, and we walk in, we're not really sure what this meeting is because we've never been to a town hall before. We've got a picture that looks just like an LDW, or just like a giant STS, 900 people in there. And we walk backstage, and who do we see? Michael Johnson. Des Walsh, Rob Levy, Edie Fleming, all who lead North America. And I gotta tell you, they were ear-to-ear smiles. They're so excited about where the company is going, where we're headed. And what's exciting for me to see right now is like when Mark and I first stepped into Herbalife, it was very different than it is today. Like at that time, there were no, if you can imagine, no fit clubs going yet. There really wasn't a healthy active lifestyle movement inside the company yet. We had a really important mission, which was really around weight loss and obesity, which is fantastic. It's still there, still a core piece of what we're doing. But Herbalife has really moved itself from not just being seen as this weight loss company and a great set of nutrition products to support weight loss, but as a wellness company. In fact, the wellness company. If you spend time with Des Walsh or Michael Johnson, that's the way they're positioning the company of the future. So that this is the aspirational wellness company. And one of the moments that I am so excited about that Mark and I got a chance to have was with the former U.S. Surgeon General. His name is Dr. Carmona. You're going to be, for those of you coming to Extravaganza, he has a full hour. And his background is unbelievable, from being in the police force to work, I think he was in the Army at one point, or the Marines. He was obviously the U.S. Surgeon General, so after he finished his tours and so forth, he went back into medicine, became a physician for many years, and Arizona, moved his way up the ranks and so forth to that position. But the other aspect he added onto his long, long list of so many different degrees and so forth is his public health focus. So he's quite clear that Herbalife is the nutrition company to create public health in communities inside the entire world. It's on the ground, changing health behaviors, changing people's lives, the public health force of the future. And when you hear him speak at Extravaganza, you will be left so crystal clear what you're a part of. So crystal clear about the mission, of the impact you're doing every single day. Because sometimes you think, oh, I'm just in this space here and the workouts we do here. You guys are part of a network of communities that is so vast and so important to the infrastructure of this nation and so many countries. This is the foundation for health and changing people's opportunities in their future. So when we were at that town hall meeting inside of 900 people, and we had 10 minutes on stage with Michael Johnson, the thing that he shared with us, he's like, look, these employees here, Jill, he's like, they don't know anything about what you guys do. It's like, they're often in cubicles, they're driving in traffic, they have children, they have a lot of responsibilities like any person does in the world. But they're, in a cubicle working maybe, and handling a lot of tasks and things that they've got to do. They often never get to hear from people like you and me. So when we took the stage, we were crystal clear that we wanted to deliver your message, deliver what you guys are up to every single day, the impact you're having on all those health results on the wall out there, the lives you are changing every single day inside of your fit camps, inside of your Healthy Active Lifestyle events. And at the very end, we got to say thank you to them. And the whole room just erupted, and there's tears, and there's just, you got to understand that you're a part of something so huge, so vast. It was awesome because not only did they have the 900 people in the room, but they had 500 new employees in Winston-Salem that were on a webinar keyed into the entire message, which was amazing. So Herbalife is so clear about the future of the company and the positioning as the premier wellness company that they've opened this entire huge new facility, like state of the art. There's nothing else like this out there. It's 175,000 square feet. They're adding 500 new jobs to North Carolina. Products are starting to ship out of that facility this month, which they're so excited about. And one of those things, like I mentioned, Mark and I were in Dallas and we got to be in that meeting. You guys are going to see this at Extravaganza, but they're going to share with you guys the whole process of how the products are developed, the supply chain from seed to feed strategy that they have. It's unbelievable, the investment. I think it was, let me get the exact number of how much, $100 million that they put into this facility. Do you think the company's clear where they're going?
Yes.
You guys are clear where you're going?
Yes.
The future is incredible. I couldn't be more excited than I am right now about where we're going as a company. In fact, so much so that at this place in our lives, for Mark and I, just to share a bit about our story, we've been around for 9 years. We started in 2005, really as happy customers. We were just so excited about the products and health results. I started on the products about a month before my wedding, so you know what my goals were, right? I was like, I want to look great in that dress. And just really loved my experience of being with Andrew, and Mark felt the same way. So we formed this friendship with our sponsor and got rolling in the business and growing it. And over time, I'll get into some of our goals and part-time and full-time and how we moved up. But long story short, in my 9 years, I've never been more excited than I am right now. I was so excited that first day. I was so excited at the first event I ever saw. I was so excited when we hit President's Team. I'm more excited today. And we got into this point where our business is so far beyond what we ever expected it to be that, you have options at this point. And that's what Andrew said to us. He's like, when he hit this position, he bought a boat and floated around South America and the Keys and just, would anchor in Barbados and amazing places like that and just enjoyed life. And we were at that place of like, okay, we had a new baby, let's enjoy life for a little while. But I just we're so jacked and so excited that Mark and I even have our own new fit club starting up next week. So it's just so exciting to be out there. I don't need to. I want to. It's like I just love what we do. I love what we're a part of every single day. And you know, as we get into it, I want to just say a few more things because I think, you know, inside of the journey, and we'll get into it, I want to give you a sense of some of the options that you have because it's been a really incredible 24 hours for me. You know, like I said, we've got a new fit camp that we're excited to start. You know, life is really, we've worked really hard to get to this point where we have options like this. And as I said, you know, for Andrew, his thing was I want to buy my mom a house and I want to get a boat. For me, from day one, I wanted a house for my family. Like I had a home growing up in, and it just meant the world to me that my parents worked so hard to have this house for my brother and I to be raised in. And I was so crystal clear I wanted that for my kids. And when we first started back in those days when we were on the products and just so excited about health results, I remember, and some of you have maybe taken this drive too, just taking drives up PCH, you know, going up to Malibu and being a new person out to LA, not from here. I was like, what in the world is going on? Look at these houses. I couldn't believe it. You know, I just really couldn't believe the lifestyle that some of these people have. And I was at that time driving a red Stratus and working crazy hours at my job. And I used to get really stressed out. You know, my personal development isn't where it is today, but I get really, really stressed out in my job. And so I just need to like go for a drive. So my way to relax is jumping in that Stratus and driving up to Malibu. And I would actually cut in and go up into the neighborhoods. And I vividly, just being after a really, really tough day, just parking the car there. We had just started Herbalife, and I remember saying to myself, I was like, there's got to be a way to have this lifestyle. There's got to be a way that I can figure this out and figure out how these people live like this. It's like, I'm all open. Like, just show me how to do it. Like, show us how to get there. And it's really exciting for me to share this with you guys, but yesterday we put an offer in at a house. You never know, like your first offer may not go as you planned, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted. But for me, like not just a house, but a house. I was like, honestly, you know, it was one of those moments too where Mark and I were walking through there, and I was like, I love it. And then we were just making this eye contact, and I knew what he was thinking, he knew what I was thinking. We're like, all right. And literally within 24 hours, we're like, Rin, you know, this is the one. It's like a compound. It's so cool. So it's really exciting to see that come full circle, you know, to go from that point of like, oh, that's nice for them, not for my life and my job and my situation and my Stratus, red Stratus, let's beat up or the big dent on the slide. That's a different story, I'll tell you that. But there's like, we didn't see any link between where we were to how to get there. But through being a part of this community and part of Herbalife, you know, and what was so great too, as we're putting in the offer, I had just 2 hours prior spent the morning with Mark at our daughter's end of year show. Both parents there. That's rare. And stress-free too, by the way. Like not there like, oh my goodness, the boss, you know, like gotta race back. And I said to Ava, I was like, hey, what do you want to do this afternoon? She said, I want to go to the pier and ride rides. So we just spent 2-3 hours at Santa Monica Pier together, you know, just spending time. I mean, that was my dream, my vision was like, create a future for your children, Jill. Still be able to have a career, be a businesswoman, make an impact in the world, and be a mom, a great mom. You can have it all, you guys, and that's what I want to get into right now. Is point number 1 is what's your vision? What do you see for yourself? There's really in my view, 3 things you want to be clear on. Is what do you want? By when? So what do you want is number 1. By when, number 2. And the third one, I want you to circle it, start, underline it, whatever you have to do. Why? So just to give you an example of this, when we first started Herbalife, my career up until that point had been in hospital management, which I thought would be awesome, having this fancy title and travel and having to wear business casual every day. And it just really sucked the life out of me is the best way I could put it. I just was exhausted, tired. Actually, the money wasn't that great, you know, and I felt completely stressed out. I just remember multiple times saying to myself, it's just not worth it, Jill. It's not worth it to lose yourself like this. You're so distanced from what you originally wanted in your life. So for me, finding Herbalife, it was like the clouds parted, the sun shone. I was like, this is it. This is what we've been looking for. This is the thing. This is it didn't necessarily expect it to be in this package, but this is it. I'm so fired up. I saw so many examples and stories of people that had the life I wanted in the future, right? So I said to myself, okay, the what I wanted was to be out of my job. So that was my goal I wrote down. I was like, I want out, I want freedom. That was probably the biggest thing, I want freedom. No boss, no time constraints. Like one of the things I love so much about college is it was like you chose, you got to choose, right? You chose if you went to class that day or not. You chose what you were going to do in the night. You chose all these things. And I was like, damn, out of college, you're like, okay, I have to show up. I have to do all these things, right? So get clear. What is it that you want? Write down at least 3 things. What are you looking for? And if you're having struggling, with 3, just start with 1 right now. What are you looking for? So when I asked myself the second question, I was like, well, when do I want to get out? And I said, today. I had to sit down with my mentor, and he gave me some realistic sense. He's like, okay, well, look, I want to make sure you guys do this in a way where you're financially comfortable, not stressed, because he's like, the last thing, Jill, that you want in the back of your mind when you're working with a customer or you're working with a team member is money. That's the last thing you want. So I said, okay, well, it's for us, for the situation Mark and I are in, and the situation you're in, well, we have to be presidency for me to leave. You could leave with one of us to go full time at Get Team, and when we flip the coin, Mark won that toss. So anyway, Mark went full time first, but for both of us to be out, that was presidency. And so I thought, well, since we hit global expansion team in 6 months, we'll be press team at the end of the year, right? Wait, my fault. TC's, of course, some of you guys are hitting it into and really fast. But so for us at that time, though, we had to get really clear by our buy-win. And for me, I just said, hey, I'll give you 5 years. I was like, all out, 5 years, you have a 5-year commitment from me. Blinders on, nothing else, no plan B, burn my bridges, I'm going. Okay, so that's what we did, we made a 5-year commitment, and I really write that down. Don't have unrealistic expectations here. This is work, and it's a lot of consistent work. You want something big like presidency, and by the way, what anyone wants in here is not necessarily what you want. You get to choose what you want for you. And that's what I love about the marketing thing. You can really key in on anything that really calls you, if it's active local, if it's Get Team, no team, any of those things, right? So the buy-win. And then this was a really important piece too. So I said to myself, if I want to be out of my job, that means we have to be a president's team. I've got a 5-year commitment here. I'm going to really watch president's team members. So I'm going to really study, and out of that big group of presidency members, I'm going to select a few that I really want to key in and watch and become friends with. I'm going to build a relationship with them. I'm going to watch a couple things. Number 1, I want to watch their health results. I want to look at how did they use the products. I want to look at their methods, right? How are they working? I really, really respected producers. For me in the beginning, especially Debbie and Michael Katz were the big ones that I was really excited to pay attention to because they bleed green. They're so into this company. They'll bend over backwards for people outside of their team. They're just such one-unit people. They're incredible. And I was really, really respect their production. They were really heavy producers, and I love that. So that was one thing. They were always at the events, always. They never missed SCSs, never missed LDWs. I saw them at everything. They figured it out. They have 2 kids, just like Mark and I do. They figure it out, right? Personally developed. They work on themselves in and out every single day. Family focus is key for me, of course. As you know, I'm big on that, and always wanted to have a family. So I really looked at that. Now, ladies, I'm going to say something else to you in particular. Guys, you can take it in the guy version of it. But I really looked at presidency women whose character I wanted to emulate. How they presented themselves. I really looked at how, wow, they can really be attractive and be a professional businesswoman. I didn't see, the women I was looking to emulate, like a Leslie Stanford, weren't compromising themselves. They weren't trying to just, cut corners and sacrifice who they were as a woman to get ahead. I didn't see Leslie hiking up her skirt, and I didn't see her dropping her neckline. She was a professional businesswoman. And she really presented herself as a woman, still beautiful, still strong, but professional. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes. So you get to choose this right now. This isn't something that you wait for when you hit President's Team and then you'll take this on. You get to choose your reputation and what you're going to be known for right now. And it's intentional. I really encourage you to think right now, what do I want to be known for? And especially these days, right? Because we can see what each other are doing all the time. Extremely important, even more so now than ever before. So I had an opportunity, when was this? This was fall of, I think, 2011. Laura Holloway won this big, this West Coast promotion. You got to go to a Galaxy game in Houston. And at that time, Mark and I were the Upline Presidents team, so I got to go with her. And so I went to Houston with her and Heather Cullen, and this was back when Laura was Millionaire Team and before she was President's team and all of that. I got to go there and I got to hear a presentation while I was in Houston on the power of I am. And it was one of the most amazing presentations I've ever heard in my life, the power of I am. And I think it's really key. You cannot spend enough time on your vision for the future. You can't spend enough time thinking about who you are in the future, because you have complete choice over it. And when one of the speakers, when he said this quote, I'm going to share it with you, it really stuck with me. He said, "You'll never rise higher than you see yourself." You'll never rise higher than you see yourself. So what's the great news? Who gets to choose? You, always. So you guys clear, on what you want, when? And spend more time on this later, but this is going to be a constant thing. Like, I think every day, I loved it because I was putting this together, and right before I went to bed, I checked, I think it was Instagram or Facebook, and I saw Styles' picture of the pool, like vision before bed. I was like, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about, is like get crystal clear in your future and your vision. All right, number 2, you want to create your everyday list. There's a series of things, and it's not that many. Like Jim Rohn says, half a dozen things makes all the difference in how things turn out. So true. It's not 60, it's 6. So what we're going to get into is what are those half a dozen things. And what Mark and I really did back in the beginning is we made commitments on what we were going to do every single day. And these are just our lists, but you can have your own list, and some of these are really, really important, of course, to build a business inside of Herbalife. But first and foremost, personal development every day. Sometimes you'd think like people would pour it in when they make more money into personal development. We probably invested more in ourselves that first year in the business than we ever have. I mean, seminars, and I had Tony Robbins on 30 CDs, and just devouring, right? Because I knew I had a lot of work to do it myself. So I was going to get out of that stratus and really have something happen. I had to get over it. And one of the biggest things I had to get over was personal fear. I was afraid of people. I was afraid of talking to people. Like the shyest person in the room. Seriously, if someone said, hi, I'd run out there. I didn't even know what to say. I'd look down, wouldn't even know how to make eye contact. So really had to work on myself. If I was going to go out there and make a difference in lives, right, I had to get over this. So the personal development gave me the courage to go out every day, and I'd go out to the Albertsons parking lot right on Ocean Park in Lincoln. You guys know that Albertsons? Yep. In Santa Monica, and I wouldn't let myself back in that stratus until I'd done all the invitations. I'd take a stack of flyers. It wasn't 10. It was 30 for me back then. And out there, and I just wouldn't let myself back in the car until it was done. And for me, because I had a full-time job, I only had a lunch hour. So you can bet. It was great because I had a parameter. You have an hour. You got to do all these invitations. And you can't get back in your car. So I had to go to town. And it just forced it out of me. But it became from a daily commitment. So what's your everyday list? Your everyday personal development. Your everyday on the products and your results. How many of you guys are working on a new level 10? Love it. Awesome. I'm so excited for that. Everyday and intention. Huge difference that makes. Does anyone set an intention? I mean, you don't have to be every day, but once in a while you set an intention. Have you noticed a difference when you set an intention? Oh, everything shifts. Big one for me was gratitude. I like to bookend my day. I'm more of a personal, and this is just me. Whatever works for you is what works for you. But in the morning, I like to do my personal development, set the intention, and then at the end of the day, I do my gratitude list, and it seals in the deal. It's probably 11:30 at night. I'm in the bathroom with the light on, and Mark comes. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm doing my gratitude journal." He's like, "Oh," he was half asleep. I was like, "I gotta get it in." For me, success is a daily thing. For me, success is a daily habit. Some people are really good without those habits in place. They can just perform. For me, I've got to have a habit. Here's another one. Really important is tracking. Sometimes we think it's at that millionaire team level with Nicole or Denise, at that millionaire team level, then I'll track. We're at that president's team level with So let us compile, then I'll track. Tracking starts right now. So in the beginning, the thing we tracked was our personal volume. We were like in the personal volume game of like, okay, well let's track the number every day of where we are in our personal volume. And set a new goal for tomorrow. I think some of you guys have heard Garen talk about that. He puts like a smiley face up, his way of doing it, and he ties personal volume to his whys and so forth. There's different ways to do it, but just if you have a daily goal that you're going for and you're tracking it every single day, give yourselves a pat on the back, because that's a big deal. Just to start there with knowing where you're at. Okay, so I'm starting to like get you thinking like a business owner here. Yes, we're health coaches. Yes, we're making an impact. But at the same time, I want you to start thinking about running something. Because we don't usually get that training, right, in school. I never did. I mean, that was really Andy on us of like track. He said to us, he's like, a big one was like track your numbers at events. He had us tracking the number of guests that we had showing up to an Herbalife Opportunity Tour. We knew exactly. I mean, if you see our spreadsheets, it's wild. Like of how many. You don't have to use a spreadsheet, right? You can write it on paper. Whatever system works for you. But if you keep, like, okay, this time I had 2, this time I had 1, this time I didn't have any, this time I had 4. Just start tracking your business to get a sense, because as Jim Rohn says, a ratio will appear. You'll know, like, hey, if I do 10 invites a day, that leads to this leads to that. Okay, but if you don't track, you have no idea what your ratios are. It's like shooting in the dark. You have no clue predictably what could happen in your business or not. You're just kind of putting energy out there and seeing what happens. That's one way to do it, but the people that go are really laser focused. Okay, so we started with our clients, started tracking clients. So we had a place where we put their goals, their results, what they were up to, and even that little file card system, you guys seen that before? It's like a little box, days of the month, you got a little card for each person. And these days your phone, you can throw in your reminders of when you're going to talk to them about this or that, but just really dialing in on being a better health coach. Great place to start. Tracking your clients, tracking their results, what they need next, and support, right? So the next thing we started to track once we were getting better at those things of our own personal volume and clients and so forth was we started tracking our new team members. They were the people that were saying, yes, I want to become a member, and they just want to be a part of the community, the products themselves, or they were bringing people. We just started tracking them and making sure we were clear how they were doing every day. So there's this awesome report, Distributor Volume. How many of you guys know what I mean? If you haven't looked at it, it's no problem. You can start today, but just get in the habit of looking at that. If you look at that report every day, you'll see stuff. You'll see opportunity everywhere to support someone. Like when we first understood that report, we're like, wow, someone stopped at 400. They were so close to senior consultant, and we just didn't know because we weren't watching. But as soon as you started watching, we're like, wow, we're really helping more people have more results. Then from there, as that team grows, they all become people like you who are all supervisors, and then you have a new report to look at, the supervisor volume report. So you can just add tools to your tool belt along the way, but just start. That's the message I have for you today, is just start. And I know sometimes numbers, we fall asleep. I'm asking you to wake up around numbers. Pay attention. Know what's going on. Know where you're going. Okay, so we've talked about your everyday list. And this is the next part, which is really, really key, is this all leads into your daily flow and your weekly flow. Okay, so for a lot of you guys, even if you have elements of your business that have social media to it, which is great, but if you're building local inside of here, I can give you some specific numbers. Okay, and this is key. I really want to make sure you guys walk out of this. How many of you guys have big goals? Great, awesome. How many of you guys are excited about the momentum and things growing? All right, I want to make sure each and every one of you are a part of the momentum. You have 2 choices. You can either watch it or you can become a part of it. I'm telling you, one is way more painful than the other. And it's just a choice. It's not hard work here. We're not talking about anything that is going to take sleep away from you or anything like that. I still slept every night, some hours, some nights more than others, but I still slept. But you're not going to die, okay? We're putting in some effort in here. But I want to make sure you're in the group that chooses to say, hey, yeah, I want to be a part of it, not watch it and have the pain of seeing all these people move beyond you, right? All right, so the daily flow and mastering your daily flow. When you have a local business like this with healthy, active lifestyle events like you guys have, and you have a weekly training like this one, and you have a weekly supervisor school like this one, a great goal to have is to say, okay, if I'm going to choose, let's say there's 3 healthy, active lifestyle events that I'm going to choose. These are the 3 events where I'm going to really focus on having new people there. Focus on 5 to 7 new a week. Now, if that's a stretch right now and you're like, wow, I'm really lucky to have anybody, start with 1 this week and work your way up. Start with 2, work your way up. I Like, that was one thing Mark would always hammer on me. We'd come back so inspired from events, and I'd be like, "We're gonna do 40,000 volume points." He's like, "Jill, let's just focus on 15 or 20." Like, just like, come on, no, like say like, or I'd get really, really excited. He's just like, "Let's just create a nice gradual increase so we can hit it." He's like, "I'm not saying we can hit it. I love your goal, Jill, but let's just bring it back down and gradually go there." So if you're at no gaps right now, let's just focus on 1 or 2 this week. If you're at 1 or 2, let's ramp up to 2 to 3, right, and so on. But if you can hit that magic number of 5 to 7, we're going to come back to that a lot. That is really going to set you guys up. That's a great, like, 75. That'll translate over time into about 7,500 volume points or more a month. Now we're really humming. It's a very exciting thing. And what are you sitting when you're at 7,500? VIP. You got it. Okay, fantastic. So to hit the 5 to 7 new a week, it's generally, for that type of person, they're doing somewhere between 8 to 10 invites a day, 5 days a week. So when you have, and again, this is the 5 to 7. So if you're like, wow, this is far, this is beyond where I'm at right now, just use it as a target for the future. But if you have that 5 to 7 new guests per week, you're generally going to have about 5 to 8 new clients a month. And some of you guys have more than that right now, which is great. Okay, so 5 to 8 clients a month, nice and healthy new flow into your business. And that usually over time, month over month over month, will translate to about 5 to 7 new team members per month, first line. Beautiful business. That's a nice, beautiful, stable, consistent. If you can keep it consistent, especially, that's the key. Nice, stable flow inside of your business. You guys will fly. So what we did is, for Mark and I, we broke that down into something more tangible. So we called it the 2 plan. And Mark would walk around like this. I don't know if you guys are in the office yet, but he'd walk around like this, like, "Where's your 2? Where's your 2?" Like, and he would just be like 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and we'd all be like 2, 1, 1, or 0. You know, like, you'd kind of be like, But we called it the 2 plan, and we had fun with it. We made it a game. That's the thing, is just take the seriousness out, have fun with this thing, and just play the game. If you're willing to get on the court, that's all I'm asking for today. And it's just like you're playing basketball for the first time, which I'm terrible at. Over time, from enough practice, you'll get good. Okay? Over time, you'll get there. But you got to commit up front. Make sure you're not the person watching, right? Okay, good. Now, here's the thing that's extremely important along the journey, is if things aren't going your way and you're kind of frustrated in the moment, refrain from going to your upline with the frustration. Put another way, from Ron Rosenau, who's a good friend of mine, figure it out. Your upline is not a repository for complaints. Andrew taught us really early on, if we were going to complain and talk about what wasn't going right, we wouldn't get a call back for a long time. And it was nothing verbal, like he never explicitly said that, but it was really clear, like, oh yeah, I heard from Andrew for a little while. And we're like, maybe it's us and how we're showing up. But if we showed up and we're like excited and we showed him the effort we were trying to put in, and maybe where we were stuck from that standpoint, not bringing a complaint, but we had ideas and solutions and so forth, he was all ears, so fired up to sit down because we were coachable. Right? It's like, look, he's like, in his world, from Andrew's point of view, it's like, look, if you want to complain, go to your best friend. If you want to grow something, get them, come to me. Let's go. Good? Right, so maybe a different mindset for some people, right? All right, you guys ready for number 4?
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to talk growth. And can I get a quick time check? I just want to see how we're doing here. Probably like another 20, 30 minutes? Okay, awesome. We might even have time for questions if you guys like that. But. All right, so 2 mindsets for growth, and this is just for growth. Assuming you want to grow, are we all in the right place for that?
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. So we touched on this a moment ago, but I want to bring it back. So first mindset that Mark and I had for growth was VIP mindset. Andrew said to us, qualify for everything and take people with you. He's like, that's the formula. So when you're thinking, it's like, well, qualify for what? He said, it doesn't matter. It's like whatever the event is, the STS, whatever the team is doing, whatever the company is doing, he's like, qualify for it all. Go for it all. And just like choosing whether to participate or watch, it's the same choice. It's not like set in your DNA whether you have the potential to do that or not. You get to choose. And that's one of the best things about Herbalife is it's not like the regular job world where it depended on who your dad was or where you went to school or this degree or that. All here it's all choice. Okay, so the VIP mindset, here's a couple reasons why. When you're sitting up front, how many of you have ever sat VIP before? Let's give them a round of applause. Good. So a couple things happen. Number 1, which was, I didn't expect this, but you know when you're at an STS and like even like this, there's an on the stage training that you're all getting from the stage, right? Well, when you're sitting at those little circle tables and you happen to sit next to Heather Schwartz, or you happen to sit next to Laura Holloway, or Jerry Graham, or Jake Dwyer, or any of these people, you're sitting right next to them. Do you think you're going to pick up something?
Yep.
You bet. Do you think that, while in the course of sitting next to each other, we could have a conversation or two?
Yep.
That's called off the stage training, and go grab it. Some people are getting double. Some people are getting whatever is from the stage, which is great. It's awesome. But some people are doubling down. When they go into their STS, they are there, and they are soaking it up. They are getting so much from sitting close to. I guess the other thing, too, is I don't know for you guys, but when you sit close to the stage, I feel like I absorb more even. My attention is better. I'm less on my phone. I'm really keyed into the speakers. I feel like I gain more the closer I am to that stage. So our goal is, get as close as you possibly can. And on our road to presidency, we never missed VIP once. We were just from a choice, though, from this conversation. If we hadn't had this conversation, maybe we would have missed it, right? But you guys had this conversation with me now. Okay. The other piece was, if you're hitting VIP, in your brain, you're starting to say to yourself, I can do it, 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 I can do it. Good or bad? Bad. Good, right? Very positive, thought patterns start to run. Confidence patterns start to run. And your attitude is your point of attraction. It's so important, your mindset, right? So if we were sitting there and we had high belief, high confidence, then it was anything's possible. We can do this. We kept saying we can do this over and over and over again. Such an important part of belief. So the VIP thing, going back to the daily flow, weekly flow, if you have 5 to 7 new people coming to events during the week, and you're doing your invites each day to make that happen. By the way, 10, how long does that take? Maybe an hour?
Yeah.
Especially if you're really strategic and you're okay, I'm gonna go someplace where there's a lot of people, you can really hammer it out, right? So it's an investment. I get it. It's an investment of time. But if you pre-plan your day and you pre-plan your week, you can find an hour. I bet you can. I know you can. And even if you're really crazy work schedule like me, find a half hour here, find a half hour there. It does not have to be all at once. It's kind of like when they say, hey, you can do your push-ups multiple times a day at different times a day, and you'll still get great results. Same thing. Just it's like the nooks and crannies of your day. Fit it in. So when you master that flow, though, if you have 5 to 7 new guests coming per week, and you've got that 5 to 8 new clients a month, eventually 5, 6 new team members first line, 7,500 VIP is no problem. No problem. How many of you guys are excited about that?
Yes.
Okay, so I have some people that are up for going for it.
Yes.
Okay, great. And by the way, there's some people in the room that are already well on their way. Do we have any 5 Gets 5 qualifiers already? Anyone that's already hit 5,000 this month? Oh my goodness, stand up. Let's give it up for these guys. So I would be interviewing these people like crazy. Okay, what do you do? How do I learn? It's just learning, growing. You're in the perfect space for it. You're in this incredible community to just gain so much knowledge and to support one another. And the chance that you guys have to teach this to other people, that's how you're going to continue to grow as well. So it's beautiful. Okay, awesome. So the next mindset, the first mindset was VIP, right?
Yep.
Second mindset was fill the room. And this is not going to make sense totally until I say it. But write down fill the room mindset. So partly because in 2008 when we opened our first space and it was empty, we had to, but it was an obsession of ours. An obsession to fill the room. Whenever there's an event, our obsession was how many people, how many people, how many people, how many people, and taking personal responsibility for it. So like I said, we tracked like crazy. We tracked guests. We tracked team members that showed up. We tracked the number of supervisors. We had supervisor schools. We kept note in our head is, hey, is someone missing? We should go reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay. Let's get them back into the fold. We tracked the number of TAB team members at TRAD team meetings. If TAB team members were missing, we were reaching out to them like, hey, we got to make sure you're here and engaged and so forth. We were tracking like crazy because we understood that to make our mission possible, we had to obsess over it. We had to obsess over having people come and be in the room and feel great being here, yet also take it forward, pay it forward, and have them have people in here. That's the only way it's going to happen. So the full room mindset, again, start small. And if the game day for me was STS. And for Mark, our game day was STS. And on that day, we started small. We're like, okay, let's get our first guest there. In the beginning, we had this couple show up, John and Kelly Moran. Shortly after that, Jerry Graham, who you guys know, right?
Yep.
We would have a little pool of people. We're so proud. You got a little pool of people here at the STS. We're so excited. And then we're like, hey, what if we could have a whole row. Wouldn't that be cool? And so we started with half a row, like 5 people, and then we went for it. And I still remember that first time where I was like, I saw a row of people from our team, and I was like, yeah, that's our team. I was so proud. I was like, this is our crew, you know. And we were just so proud to have worked that hard to have gotten these people together. And we did the photo, and our photos back in the day might have 6, 8 people in them. And if you were at Extravaganza last year, you saw 1,500 in the photo. So the fill the room mindset just started early, and we just kept hammering on it every single month. We were so everything built up to the STS. So everything you're doing every day in here, every week in here, it's like game day is the STS, right? And that's where it's like, wow, you get to really see the fruits of your labor. Take the picture with your group. It gets so fired up about it, and then it kept translating forward. We were like, okay, well, we're gonna go for VIP. I remember sitting VIP for the first time thinking, like, I'm all nervous because there's this presidency member next to me and I don't know what questions to ask, and I'm like checking the shoes to make sure they look okay, or like, you know, wearing my little new outfit from Ross or whatever it was. I was just like excited to look good and be there and sit VIP and not sure what to do there, but I'm, you know, you're just like fired up, so excited. And I remember saying this, okay, someday we're gonna have one person sitting VIP with us. And it took for us, like actually, like I think a couple of years before we actually had a VIP person with us. And that first person was Heather Schwartz. And she never left those tables with us. So from there, we were like, wow, you know, maybe we could have 3 or 4 in here, you know, and sit at this table with us. So it just starts small. It doesn't have to be crazy, you know. Now there's like tables and tables and tables of people. The momentum starts to kick in, but the curve in here is not like a job curve. Like in a job curve, you have linear growth. You get paid, you know, a little 0.5% raise if you're lucky, right? Year over year over year, and it's a linear thing. It's like you could hit snooze and just like it just happens. Here it's different. It's like work, 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 go crazy. It's an exponential curve, but it's like a water pump curve, you know? It's like if you're pumping a water pump, nothing comes out for a while, but if you keep going, what's gonna happen? That thing's gonna gush. So you can apply that philosophy to everything, to organizational growth, to your STS growth, to everything. But I think, you know, you guys get the picture. It's just the consistency that matters. It's the vision that matters. It's the day over day over day over day that matters. Okay, so we started small, got obsessed, definitely got obsessed with Fill the Room. For those of you guys at the Active World Team TAD Team meeting coming up, don't be surprised if we talk about this a lot, because it's really key. We have a chance here, because inside of the LDWs now in SoCal, it's been amazing. We've gotten up to 2,000 people in LDWs. Like back when Mark and I started, we'd have like 150. So to be at 2,000, we have a chance by October, in my belief, we could hit 3,000 in this region, no problem. And then by April of next year, 4,000. And really just completely change the game to the point that we have to be in a convention center ourselves in Southern California. Like an Extravaganza. You guys up for that game?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, because you're a huge piece of that pie. And making that happen, and you can start to picture it now where we're headed as a region. Okay. Okay, just a quick time check. We're at 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Okay, perfect. All right, so number 5. I'm starting to see where I'm going with this, but number 5 is events. So we're all playing a game in here together. And in any game you're playing, you got to know the strategy. So if there's one thing I can share with you guys is to really understand that being at the events and having your team at the events is extremely, extremely, extremely important. And it's tough to know in the beginning because a lot of times you might hear from your mentor or your upline, and they're like, just be there. And you're like, well, why? I've already seen it. They're like, just be there. And you're like, oh, to sweep your floor? No, that's not it. There's so many more reasons to be there, and you might be missing them. Okay? So clearly inside an event, when you get a group of people together, there's a collective that forms, right? The collective is the power. The collective is what people are attracted to. You might have a couple magnetic people in there that can do it on their own and attract a lot of people, but generally, the masses need the collective. And if you're not there, the collective's not there. Okay, so the collective is where the stories take place. The collective is where belief is formed. The collective is where relationships are forged. It's a feeling when people say, I just feel good when I'm in here. Yeah, the space is like 10% of it. The 90% is you guys. It's how they feel when they're with you. But you could take the same space and throw a bunch of like egotistical people here, unlike yourselves, and people would be repelled. They'd leave right away. So you guys, the force of your collective is everything. It's your culture. Write that down. Most important piece is the culture. And inside of that, when you have an opportunity to sweep, or we call it the press team bathroom, right? Clean the press team, the press team, you get to press team by cleaning the bathroom, that's what we always said. You know, and I loved it, you know, when they said, hey, who's gonna sweep the floor? And you saw Val Bell's hand go up. That was Mark. And Madison, he's like, I'll take care of the floor. Just like that. Not too big for it, not too important for it. I'll do it as, he's gonna be right there alongside you guys. So when there's roles like that, there's a chance to volunteer for something, there's a chance to contribute. It's not just to do it. Make it clear, it's not just to contribute. You're not just asking for because they need something from you. They're asking to develop. You get developed by sweeping the floor. You get developed by cleaning the kitchen. You get developed by cleaning the bathroom. So what I want you to write down in your notes is there's an invisible leadership development process taking place inside here. And I don't want you to miss it. And some people, by the way, are. They think it's all about volume. Now, is volume important? Yes, absolutely. But the analogy I'd give you, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's like this much of, in terms of the world of importance. What anchors an iceberg is this huge thing underneath called leadership development. And that is hammered out in events. Because as you get good at it here, and they're like, wow, you know, Laura, you're doing such a great job with MC and so forth, and you've practiced now for a while, you're moving away from marketing. We'd like you to MC at the STS. How do you think people get chosen for the STS? From here. From your role here. You know, you're doing so great with the chair team in here, you're helping lay out all the chairs. Who do you think is going to get chosen for chairs at the STS? Yeah, and then, by the way, when you're doing chairs at the STS, who are you running into? Jerry Graham, Dave Dwyer, the guest speaker. You're hanging out, you're getting all, soaking up all that off-the-stage training. You understand how to put on an event. And you're so good at doing these chairs out at the STS and helping out with the production. So we really want to involve you on the production team as one of the key coordinators. Production team and a key coordinator, really? That would be fantastic. You mean I'd understand the flow to how this whole thing works? Yeah, and then by that point you're now GET team, MIL team, working your way up. You guys, now you're the head coordinator, presidency member of the STS. You're coordinating this whole thing. Stefan Graziani, Chairman's Club, comes in. Who's he hanging out with? You. Who's helping make sure everything goes smoothly for him? You. Whose team does he look back on and say, oh, this is an incredible experience? Yours. Then, along the lines, you get this phone call, and they say, hey, you know, this extravaganza is coming up, and we really need a really strong production coordinator to run the entire show of extravaganza backstage, working with all the Congress Circle Chairman's Club members and Nicola Johnson. Who do you think they're going to choose? There's an invisible leadership development structure taking place. Don't miss it. It's not just sweep the floors. You got to get that your strength, your skill sets, when the winds blow, when methods change, are forged right here, right now. This is your anchor right here, right now. Because things come and go. They always do. You know, back in the day, we used to have something called signs. And people posted signs, and they did a lot of volume doing signs and putting signs up. One day, signs weren't allowed anymore. Signs came down, people's volume went down. But what stayed? The people that had this, that had leadership skills, leadership structure. They were engaged in events, they were working the events, contributing to the events, building their skill sets. No matter what, wind blows or not, Invictus is here. You guys have each other here. You're able to flow with the times. Does this make sense? I'm trying to like paint a vision for you for the future. Okay. So as we're playing the STS game, and we talked about STS being game day, right? One of the things that's extremely important, and I ask all of us to really rally on this, is again, don't let a big room fake you out. Have your personal goals written down of how many new you're going to have at the STS in June. Like for Mark and I, we were always shooting for 5 new. 5 new, 5 new, 5 new. Did we have 5 every time? No. But we went for it. We played the game, and we had fun. We went for it. Sometimes we had 1. Sometimes all of them canceled. We were so upset, but we went for it. It's like building your biceps. Like your mindset is built the same way. It's a muscle. Your muscle of strength comes from doing it and putting it out there month over month over month over month over month. Okay, and is it worth it if you go back to that why list and what you really, really want? Yeah, if you're not sure yet, keep digging into that. What do I want? What do I want? What's my why? And it's okay not to be clear. Sometimes we're not right away. Sometimes it changes too. Which is why I have you like thinking vision every single day, thinking back to what are you looking for, by when, why do you want those things? So that if you're grounded in that, the how is really, really easy. Okay? You're willing to do it. It was like no problem for me to jump out of that Stratus and do the 30 invites. Because I wanted it so bad. I wanted out of the job so bad. Willing to do whatever anyone said. We were running 3 challenges a week. I wanted it so bad. Okay, and I'm not saying you guys need to do that stuff anymore. It was kind of crazy back then. Like, we're trying to figure out the model. Just follow your leaders in here. They already know. You already have the structure set up. Okay, so as we wind down, and then we have a few minutes, I think, left, and a few minutes here for some questions, if you guys have them. But as we wind down, you know, this is what I want to leave you with is stay focused. As my mentor would say, take a deep breath. Exhale. You found it. He used to say, chill, Mark, relax. You found it. You don't need to worry so much anymore about how you're going to pay bills or where you're going to go, what plan B is. Just, you found it. And that used to really keep us grounded, keep us settled, keep our heads straight. Because there's a lot of distractions, right? There's distractions externally, there's distractions within Herbalife. Now I'm going to say as a unit here, you can help each other with that quite a lot. Keeping each other grounded, keeping each other focused, keep acknowledging each other for all the great things that you're doing. And last but not least, last couple messages I have for you is to, and this is just a personal one. And I just went through something really big in the early part of this year that really brought this home for me, and I was really, really grateful. So I want to share this message with you guys, which is just pay the price now. So tomorrow is May 25th, and my mom turns 63 tomorrow. And then January 24th of this year, I got a phone call out of the blue. I was out working out, actually, and my dad was like calling, and I was like, oh, I never hear from my dad on a Friday morning. So he called, and he said, hey, you know, I'm at the hospital. Your mom's lost her short-term memory, and you don't know why. She doesn't remember what she's supposed to do today. She doesn't remember yesterday. She knows who I am. She knows who you are. She has a long-term memory, but she doesn't have a short-term memory. So I said, okay. And Cecilia said, we're ruling out stroke. We don't know. And later that day, we come to find out they did a CT scan, and there's this mass that they see on there. Said, you need to fly out. And I was like, no problem there. So we fly out. Long story short, she was diagnosed with a really rare tumor, slow-growing tumor in her right temporal lobe. And she had to go through the whole thing of surgery. I mean, I can't even tell you how many scans they've done, how many procedures. She ended up having 2 strokes at the same time. And by some miracle, she's still herself. The surgery went great. She still has a long road to recovery. But in that period, and one of the toughest things that I never thought my family would deal with this, both really, really healthy people, healthy, active lifestyle people, really, you know, great futures in front of them, big goals, big dreams, long list of bucket lists, you know, things, items, places they want to see, things they want to go do. And here this happens, this wrench. I just, you know, it's something you read about in MSN. It's not something you experience in your family, or so you think. And it was like my world stopped. I mean, this is my mom, you know? And it brought the family super, super close together. But the message I want to leave you with is because we paid the price years ago, because Mark and I worked so hard to build this, I was left in a position of control in terms of my time, in terms of financially. Like, I not only was able to fly myself out there 3 times, and now the 4th time coming up, but I was able to fly my brother. I was able to just say, hey, it's handled, the bills are taken care of. Oh, you guys need a car? No problem, I've got it. But to be able to be there in terms of my time was not just like half there, half thinking about a job. Like, I was 100% there with her. And really important, I was able to bring my personal development. That's something my parents spend a ton of time on. So with my mom all bottled up in emotion, to be able to say, like, how are you feeling right now? Okay, what's there for you? You know, just really open her up and allow her to experience what she's going through. It was beautiful. I mean, not that anyone would wish this, but it was beautiful. It's been an incredible experience. And just, I'm just telling you, you never know what's around the bend. You really don't. You never know when you're going to be called upon for something really, really important. And just pay the price now. If you go to work right now and you set yourselves up, not only can you handle the future that you already have on paper, the thing you can see, you'll be able to handle the thing you can't see and you can't predict. And I don't know what that list is going to be for you guys, but we all have them. Okay, so with that said, I have a couple quotes I'm going to leave you with, and I'm going to open it up to questions. The first quote I'm going to leave you with is one of my favorites. It's by Randy Pausch, P-A-U-S-C-H is his last name, and he wrote The Last Lecture. And this is his quote, and this quote, fires me up every time I hear it, so I hope it does the same for you. And I can send it out to you guys if it's easier, so you don't have to write so much, but just, you know, rather be with me, and I'll leave you guys this later, or email it out. The quote is this. He says, "The brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. Brick walls are not there to keep us out. The brick walls are there to give us a chance to show how badly we want something. Your path is perfect, where you are is perfect, your circumstances are perfect. It's there because it's there to show you, give you a chance to show how badly you want it, how badly you're willing to overcome your situation, how badly you're willing to overcome not having a car and walking, you know, how badly you're willing to overcome like that server job, you know, where you're just not sure how to get ahead and get out of your situation. How bad do you want it? And then the last one, which is my favorite quote of all time from Jim Rohn. This quote for me is just like the essence of Jim Rohn. And I know some of you are brand new, so you're like, who's she talking about? But Jim Rohn is a key philosopher. He really shaped a lot of people's heads and minds, and especially inside the business world. But he was also our personal development coach inside of Herbalife for many, many years. Had the great fortune of hearing him speak many times and meeting him twice, which are really funny stories if you have a moment later. Amazing, amazing person. And he really was, Mark Hughes, who founded Herbalife, his guy. Like the person in his back pocket at all times to make sure Mark was centered and straight and able to change the world like he did. So here's Jim's quote that I want to leave you with. He says, and again, I'll just send this to you guys so you don't have to write like crazy because it's a long one. It says, I wish for you a life of wealth, health, and happiness. A life in which you give yourself the gift of patience, the virtue of reason, the value of knowledge, and the influence of faith, and your own ability to dream about and achieve worthy awards. All right, you guys. Well, thank you. I really had a wonderful time So go get it. You got it in you. You got it in you. I see you. You have it in you. You're here for a reason. What Andrew used to say to me is like, Herbalife chooses you. What if? What if you were chosen for this? Go get it. Okay, do we have any time left? 5 minutes. So if there's any questions that anyone has, or if you want me to go deeper in something, I'm more than happy to. The time we have left. Or if someone wants to share their big takeaway or anything they got out of today.
For me, what I took away most of all is just consistency. You know, as long as you're consistently doing invite, consistently reaching out to people, then you're going to be making a greater impact in your business moving forward.
Yes, consistency is key. And it's probably one of our biggest challenges is people, right? We naturally want breaks or naturally, so what you're bringing up is a really key thing that Mark, you know, when you talk about decisions and the forks in the road, one of the big forks in the road we had was do we go with how we feel in the moment or do we go with our word? One is much harder than the other, but I promise you, the moment you go with your word, you're going to feel immediate excitement, immediate like pride in yourself. So if you said you're going to be there, be there. You know, if you're going to do it, do it. So great, great. Anyone else want to share?
Hi. My question is, when you step into leadership, you start to build a team. What is the best leadership advice you can give us?
As you're stepping into building a team?
Yes, because I have experienced for me, and it could be me, that my team isn't responding to showing up. And so, like, what is the key leadership advice you can give?
The big advice I'd give is to focus on new. If you want to see new growth or new anything, new something new happen, new pin, new growth, new anything, you got to focus on new business. So just the biggest thing I see happen and what Mark and I went through is especially when we hit global expansion team and we first got there, that was our first experience of it. We went like boom, all on the existing team we had. And like some people are going to stay and some aren't. You know, some really want it, some don't. The trick is making them all feel great, and especially at that time in our business, that rather than have that be 100% of our focus, it probably should have been about 15, and the other 85 should have been focused on building new. It's like the water pump. Like you got to keep pumping, and the pumping is new. Sure. We have time for one more thing.
I have a question, but one of my biggest takeaways was where you said there was an invisible leadership process taking place, and you referenced that to the contribution to the cleaning, sweeping the chairs and things like that. But I was able to apply that to just the entire process of being in Herbalife. There's invisible leadership from the invites, and no one's responding to it when we're doing the follow-up calls, when all of our clients fall off, and we feel like we have to build all over again and things like that. There's an entire leadership process taking place in that because it's building their character, and it's also building your skill set to pass down to your team.
Beautiful.
I think I probably had it written down for notes a long time ago, but how long were you at, what was the transition from global expansion team to millionaire team, and what was the big one?
Great. So our long version of our story, and I won't do the long version, but I want to give you like the points that happened along the way. We started July 2005. By January 2006, we were fully qualified yet, which means by October we were in cuts. We thought for sure we were done with President's Team a year from now. We were just ignorance on fire, like going. And we hit Global Expansion Team, and because at that time things were rising, we'd never been through a dip or anything like that, or even like a stagnation period. We thought everything just kept going, you know? And so at that point, that's when Mark was like, okay, I'm out of the job. You know, I'm gonna go full time. And he went too early, frankly. Like, we didn't have enough going on to keep him busy like that. So even after he did all of his invites, all of his follow-up, he was kind of like, all right, you know, like he didn't know how to fill his time yet. He was trying to build that skill set. So we actually went through a lot in Global Expansion Team period, like of 2006 to 2009, which seems like eternity now, but you know, relative to a lot of teams, like some people are stuck at World Team for 10 years, 15 years. And if you're stuck, it's not a bad thing. It's not like this like hide under a table shame experience. It's completely normal. We all will get stuck at some point. It's just the life lesson we're in at that point. We had to grow. Like Mark and I had to really work on ourselves. And we also had to make some key decisions. At that point in time, there weren't any big clubs or offices or anything. So we decided to just put ourselves on the line, and we opened a space in 2008, which wasn't, if you think it's the space, you're missing it. It wasn't opening a space, it was our commitment level increased. We got really serious because we had to, right? Our backs were against the wall, we had to make this thing go. So within 1 year of getting really serious, really consistent, really doing 90-day plans, then we were a Millionaire Team. And it unlocked. And then at Millionaire Team, we went through it again. I went through a personal thing of like having our first baby, full-time job still, because right, I couldn't leave till President's Team, that was the commitment. So I'm kind of juggling full-time business, full-time job, baby, like I was like a mess. And I really just said to Mark, you know, December of 2009, I can't do that anymore. 1 year from now, we will be President's Team. And he looked at me and said, all right, let's go. I was just like all or nothing. I mean, all out. And that was another period where we just, what we found is the decision was the hardest point, the work was the easy part. So once we decided and made the choice of like, we're going, then it started to flow. But when we were always on the fence, you know, like, am I in, am I out, am I going to show up, am I not, like, is this a good day or a bad day, going with what we feel instead of our commitments, what we said we would do, our word, you know, and I think Thaddeus, your comment was perfect. Like, we had to earn it. We had to build the skills, and we were getting groomed, and we didn't even realize it. We thought those were moments to avoid, but rather they were necessary points across the path in order to get where we wanted to go. So an obstacle is not there to move around it or just be like annoyed with. It's actually part of your journey and part of your process if you go through it. Okay. Yeah. So then we were President's Team, and then just went from there. So it's crazy, that curve. It kind of goes like that, or right on your end this way. Right, so it's flat. But you got to be willing to go through the flat period, which is really frustrating for most of us. Okay. Patience test, distractions test, and sometimes like it's not even dream stealers test because we all have them, but it's often like for my parents who were like so in love with Herbalife and so supportive, the patience test for them, they're like, well, how long are you going to work like this? Like, how much more do we have to wait to see you? Like, when are you going to come back for Christmas? So we had a lot of that, the patience test to work out with people around us and things like that. It's all normal. It's all worth it too.
Hi, Jill. I just wanted to say, first I want to say thank you for sharing with us today. And then second, I want to say, like, for me, I remember coming to the business and sitting in trainings, and I remember going to sit with Mark and saying, like, Mark, like, when I hit President's Team, I'm out. You know, I was like a supervisor at the time. And you know this, like everyone else knows, I never wanted a nutrition center or the responsibility of having it. But then after I made that 5-year commitment, it sounds like you said that really touched me because sometimes it's hard to come. You know, sometimes it's hard to show up, especially when you feel like there's So as a president's team member, you said something about you came for your commitments and less for your feelings. In my experience, it's been now 3 years, and I've noticed that I've lost a lot of people along the way in the 3 years, and I'm committed to another 2 years, and I know after that I'll evaluate what's going on. So when you hit your 5-year mark, what was that like?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure.
yeah, it's a great question, and it's a fantastic question, and I acknowledge you, Sal, because it took something to really push through and open this space. He didn't do it for him. He was seriously so massively committed to all of you guys. Okay, like that. He was like, wow, I hit my dreams. I'm not done yet because I gotta help you guys hit yours. So in opening this space and creating the opening for you guys to go for what you're going for, that takes a lot. That's so huge. So at our 5-year mark, we had just hit president's team. So we were in this very similar place that you're in right now, like, okay, well, we have hit our goal, and then it was exciting and awesome, but there's one thing that always exceeds the experience of hitting president's team yourself or hitting a pin of any kind yourself, is when you place it on someone else. And once that happened for us, and Sal just went through this with Celeste, we pinned Jake. He was our first person to hit president's team. I was like, wow, this is unmatched. This feeling of out of body, of like out of myself and my own goals, and so much bigger, got so strong. It's so powerful that we were just like, wow, I really, I'm starting to feel a larger mission here. I'm starting to feel a larger thing going on. And then what we were asked to do is, support some of the leadership in the region, and then support Herbalife at the strategy and planning level. It's like, we went through, I think that business breathes a lot. Like you expand and you kind of settle, and you expand and you kind of settle at all levels of the business. So we went through a period of just like getting as much as we could get done as we possibly could, and that's what took us to last year. And then we had Kalina. So I really decided once I had the second baby of like, I'm really gonna do this. Like I'm gonna be a mom and like be with her quite a lot. So I pulled back a bit from all the responsibilities only because we had a lot of leadership built who could take it and wanted to take it. And actually if I stayed there, I was in their way. I really was like holding Jake and Heather back if Mark and I were in the space all the time. So we just really needed to give them their space. So you'll see that happen at different levels. Like you might be, active world team and you've been doing that role for a long time, or maybe you've been MC for a while now. It's like your new supervisor needs that chance. It's the same thing. If you get out of the way, it creates space for someone else to fill into. But it's like for me, I get these waves of excitement. I've always had it inside the business of I get a wave of excitement to go, and then I kind of settle and work with what I have out of that, and then a wave of excitement to go, and we're in that again. Like super excited to start a new fit camp and go build something new. I think trust your gut, and go with the flow, and especially in your building years right now, just do your five-year commitment. Keep your word on it if that's what you've written down. That's what we wrote down. It's like, I'm committed 5 years, you got me. We kept our word to that. And then, like Sal said, reevaluated it at what point, what do we want now? And let ourselves go through what we went through then. And it's truly at this day and age when people are building, my goodness, you can have such a great business within 5 years. It's amazing. And then you can take a look and see what the next 5 years looks like. Do you want more? Like we've got great team members like Kristen Adolfi on our team, who's really just kind of done it her way. And she's got almost on the verge of millionaire team now, but she's done her path, and it's just awesome to see. So she didn't do it exactly like Mark and I did, but she did it her way. So just the big thing is up front, especially when you're brand new, is to make a commitment of some kind. Get clear about your vision, go for it, keep your word, and for us that just turned into something way beyond we ever could imagine. It was so worth it. So worth it. All those forks in the road and all the decisions we could have taken that we didn't, instead chose this. Oh my goodness, I'm so grateful. So grateful. I mean, to put that offer in yesterday, oh my goodness. I mean, to truly walk in through someplace of like, not only do you love it, but you're like, I could do this. Like, I can literally sign this right now if you want to. And we were yes to it. So I wish that for you guys, whatever that is for you. The places you want to see, the things you want to do, what you want to provide for your family. You deal with what I dealt with my mom, to be able to go do that. And just not only give of yourself financially, but of your time. Such a blessing to so many people. You're welcome. Thank you guys. So bring our amazing MC back up, Laura. I think, are you up next?
I think we'll just take a break and then we'll come back at 10 for coach's training. Thank you. Yeah,
All right, everybody, people in the back, can you stand up? People in the front, can you sit down? No, you stand right there. Right there. I'm gonna do a panorama photo, so don't move. Marquise. Size Marquise. Size Marquise. Here we go. Ready? Are you guys ready? Yes. 1, 2, and 3. Don't move, don't move, don't move. All right. Let's do that. Actually, can we use that on
What's the spill?
We got to go.
Hi guys.
Cheeseburger? What do you mean?